Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Fore Dad's Podcast with your hosts Tease and Don Julio. Thank you guys for joining us for this awesome episode. If you haven't noticed already, we are rocking our newest version of our Fore Dad's hats. Julio is rocking the red, white, and blue with the blue hat, red, white logo, red, white, what do you call this? I'm blanking lace. Rope, lace.
Rope.
And you turn to the left. I think it's the left, right? Left, you might be other side. You got the little logo right there of our headphones for the podcast, and on the back I'll be showing a picture so you guys can see this. It has our old or traditional Fore Dad's logo, and I'm rocking the red or white, red, and black hat with the black rope, black, red Fore Dad's with the little headphones there for the podcast. Love how these things turned out. And then I think one of the coolest parts of these is underneath the bill, it says stay fly and go low.
Go low.
So I think they're really sick hats. Definitely let us know if you guys are interested. We also have a couple other colorways. One is the black and white, and the third is going to be saved for April. I'm sure you guys can put together what that means. But really cool hats. Want to change it up a little bit, try something new. I definitely like the design. Thankfully, Julio liked the design as well. And I love playing with them. They match my Jordan cements really beautifully, and they'll match Julio's as well. And honestly, all the hats so far, I think they match up with all of the pairs of Jordans that I have. The only ones that I don't have is a black and white pair, because for whatever reason, they don't have a black and white pair of Jordan golf shoes.
I just want to let everyone know, like, John designed the hats. This was all 100% teed, so I knew he was sitting there, probably had like a mannequin here with like, okay, red shirt, Jordans.
No, dude. Oh no, it's the Puka. No, dude, it's the Puka app itself, man. You can like do everything for the hat, put all the logos everywhere, spin it around 360. Cool. It made it so easy. But of course, in the back of my mind, was I thinking of all the things that I can rock with it? Of course. You know how I roll. You know how I am. You know how I got all the things set up.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Puka. If you're looking for some more ambassadors, we got, this is our second order, and we're happy with both. So
heck
keep us in mind.
Heck yeah. And I mean, they're great fitting hats, low crown profile, good fitting snapbacks, can fit all heads of all sizes. And if you guys are interested, definitely hit us up individually on our social media pages. Social media page
out to you guys.
Exactly. I ship them out. We actually the first sale that I had of this version of the hat actually went out to, man, I'm blanking on his name. He's from Tennessee.
Oh boy.
He's from Tennessee. He's been following us on Twitter since I started the Twitter page, and he's always like giving us ideas of things to talk about. Real nice gentleman. Got him a blue hat like Julio's, and I'm blanking on his name. It's probably not the worst thing in the world just to call someone's name out, but it might actually benefit and be a blessing in disguise for me not being able to remember it off the top of my head. But we do thank him for the support, and also everyone else that's been supporting us. The one thing that I want to say...
I sold my first two to Corey and Jake. Appreciate you, fellas.
Right, no, exactly. And, I will also say one other thing, totally on hats related. Social media pages, you will see it on our little pop-ups that I have every 5 minutes here. It'll always say, follow us on social media. They have been updated. It is now going to say @X Fore Dad's Golf, mainly because we're nobody, right? I mean, we're growing a support system here. If you just say Fore Dads, not many people might not know what it's about. Do we have a podcast that we do all the time, weekly? Yes. Is it all mainly about golf? We push golf content? Yeah. So we're Fore Dads Golf, and we do a podcast. We started with the podcast.
Why are you discrediting us, man? Like, I got tons of people in Santa Rosa that know us.
I'm not discrediting us. I'm just saying on a global scale here, we're not talking like, good, like, oh yeah, Fore Dads. Oh yeah, of course I know who they are. Oh, of course. Yeah. Fore Dads. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's a household name. You know what I mean? Like, we got to build it. So I was hoping that maybe throwing the golf in there will also open up some other people if they accidentally don't type in foreplay, they type in something else, and something golf pops it up. Boom. So our ats are changed, but it'll show down below. But yeah, I think we should jump into the podcast episode right now. And I saw something that was really interesting that I really want to talk about. A 15-year-old qualified for the Bermuda Championship. Oliver, if I'm saying this last name right, Oliver Betschart will be the youngest to play on the PGA Tour since 2013. And 15 is an insane young age to play anything professional, in my opinion, because of how elite these players are becoming at such a young age already compared to what was it back in like the 40s and 50s. I know Shane Gillis had a thing where it's like, oh, white people had all these nicknames. There were, oh, he's an alcoholic, but he's an all-star pitcher. He's got a crazy windup, when he's 48 years old. And now it's just like these kids are built to play at such a young age. But 15 in any professional event, regardless of golf, baseball, basketball, football, I just think it's insane.
Yeah, no, that is. I mean, that's even the age of some of the girls. I know it's a women's event, but even with the girls, to hear how young they are, being sophomores in high school, coming and playing or qualifying for a U.S. Open, like these kids are some are built different, but again, I think when you sit down, you really look at the simplicity of what you need to accomplish in the game in order to give yourself a contending chance. I think that's where it's like, for some of these kids, it is nerve-wracking, but having dad on the bag, having your coach on the bag, and just trying to keep things simplistic, like probably keeps them pretty even keel throughout the whole round. I mean, right, I would just say, and I mean, I blow up for just club tournaments sometimes. I'm like, dude, what the heck's going on? Like, I just played the other day and doing great, but it's like, a buddy of mine, we were just talking, we're like, whenever we see tournament in front of like a round of golf, I mean, you go to a different place, instead of just like, okay, what do I want to do here? Yeah, I want to hit the ball far and play like I normally do. But the one guy that I enjoy watching, dominate and move his way through some of the qualifiers is, Micah Morris. Like, he lives with that 2-iron. With that 2-iron.
It's insane with how far he can hit the driver and how confident he just, par 5, 2-iron. And you're like, what are you doing? It's a straight, why are you not going for that when other people would? Yeah. I completely agree.
Yeah. It's like, that's the different kind of mindset, is more of like, okay, well, hey, I know that I'm comfortable with a 200-yard shot. I could play it one of two ways. If it's downwind, I'll take the 7-iron, knowing that, hey, I have no problem getting that there. Or if I want to hit a nice, comfortable, maybe flighted bump check shot, going with the 6-iron. Choke down a little bit, just give it an 80% swing and send it on its way. And again, that speaks to how I didn't see any of the clips of that kid playing, or of Oliver playing, but I would assume it must have been a pretty dang good round.
Well, yeah, no, definitely. I mean, like you mentioned, I think one thing that definitely separates golf from other sports is the fact that he could have his coach or his father or whoever has been working with him in golf on his bag with him at every single shot. You have baseball. If you're a pitcher, okay, well, if your dad's the coach, which is going to be rare because of how many teams are out there, and unless like you're like a stud of a coach at the time, and how often coaches get changed in general, like the possibility of that actually happening going to be extremely rare. But even if he's there, you're only seeing him once every half inning. It's not after every single pitch like you would, for a golfer, every single shot. They're going to be there in his ear, letting him know, hey, calm down, take a deep breath, like, hey, I've noticing your heart rate's getting up a little bit, things like that. And same with really any other sport. Golf is probably the best place to be a young player to do this, because you will have someone with you the whole time. And I'm blanking on how long ago it was, but I do recall seeing highlights of when Justin Thomas was like 15 and playing in a PGA Tour event as an amateur. And this kid couldn't have been like more than like 125 pounds. It was insane. Just watch and how well he played. And honestly, his interviewing skills were insane. Like he was just so composed, just so professional. And you're like, dude, this kid's like 5'4", 120 pounds, smashing a driver like 260, which for him is insane. But, it's just like, and so composed at such a young age. But I mean, it'll be really interesting to see how he plays.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really good point. I honestly think, but seeing in past interviews, when you see some of these kids, I mean, you look at like Tiger Woods when he was on TV, as a kid, you know, as a little boy, like super professional, extremely gathered, like awesome interviewer. And then you saw Rory, right? Rory as a kid as well too. I wonder if just because golf is a gentleman's sport, you're typically around guys who are a bit more seasoned, you know. If being around that as a kid, you're experiencing a different level of maturity that technically forces you to mature, you know, to mature up faster in your in your environment, right? So it's like you can't come running into the clubhouse and just like mess up clothes. Like you can't just go run into the locker room and, you know, like do all this different stuff because you just can't be exposed to some of that stuff. You know what I mean? So
the locker room talk is no joke. They always say there's no such thing as locker room talk. Well, let's put a kid in a locker room with a bunch of men and see what he has to tell you.
Yeah, man. No, but I mean, either way, that's super impressive. Definitely makes me want to like reevaluate how I play.
Rethink my life. Oh man.
Yeah.
But exactly. Were you able to catch up on any of the Zozo Championship? I know it was extremely difficult for me to even try and watch any, even early in the morning, because it was played in Japan. So I mean, what did you hear?
I didn't see anything on it besides the video that you sent me with the crazy winds, and then there was a picture of Colin Morikawa and his girlfriend or his wife at like some super exclusive sushi restaurant where it was like these two sushi masters that have, you know, it's like if you go to this restaurant, apparently it's like, whoa, you're in for a treat. You know, it's like going to like a Michelin star restaurant, apparently, for sushi.
Well, I mean, I would assume so over there. I mean, like that's the main course that they eat is like raw fish. You know, like that's all like the majority of it. So, I mean, I don't even think I watched a shot, honestly. I just saw the clips of how windy it was, up to like 36, 40 mile an hour winds. Like it was almost as bad as you weren't there the day that I was at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am when it was so windy they had to cancel it for like that day and like, you know, restart on Sunday. But it just looked crazy. It was howling. And you know, I had seen, like, again, Colin Morikawa won. I think he shot like a 7 under on Sunday to claim his first win since like 2021, which is awesome. Good for him. Happy for him. But I saw, if you've been paying attention on social media, Partrain Evan, he had just completed like his 1 month in like living in Ireland with him and his wife, and, you know, playing all these golf courses, link style, and just saying how he was getting used to playing in 40 mile an hour winds. And dude, I would have been the biggest baby if I would have been out there like, yeah, let's go out there for a month and play out golf and do all this stuff there. And then you get there, you're like, F this, bro. Let's just play on simulators inside. Like the wind sucks. And he's like, it kind of makes me think why I make so many mistakes and how bad I am with no wind at all. Playing out here, you have all the excuses in the world, but without the wind, which a lot of the time in the valley, especially in the valley, like it's not that windy, especially in the summer. And it's like, how do you still suck, dude? You have like no excuse, you know?
Yeah.
But man,
it's a mental game, man. I mean,
it really is.
I think the biggest, I don't think, I firmly believe that, you know, just like when you're on the mound and you're 0-2, you want to throw your strikeout pitch. It's like you have to throw it with, you know, you have to throw it with some what's the word I'm looking for? You got to throw it with
try to throw some more spin on it. Oh, purpose. Okay.
Yeah, you got to throw it with a purpose. You know, you got to do something to finish the job, and it's the same thing with the golf swing. You got to commit. You got to commit to every shot, and that's the one thing where it's like, you know, I love the videos on TikTok where you hear like someone standing over a ball, and it's like what goes through their head, and it's like keep my shoulder up, like pull my hands down, rotate, like. Soft hands, and it's like, no, just set over it, pick your line, and just go for it. And dude, I've been doing that with the very little golf that I've been playing recently, like, because I had my tournament on Saturday.
Yeah, tell us about it. Okay,
and so the one thing I got up to the tee box and we were playing from the blue tees, right? They had us playing up, but me and my partner had to give I think it was 3 strokes back to the field because we were the lower handicap.
You're too good.
Yeah, we were like the lower handicap people, but number one at the club always gets me. Like, especially from the blues, it's either I hit a perfectly dead straight ball at the trees or I push it to the right, and then I'm like blocked out by trees and I have to lay up and hit a cut. But I told my partner, I was like, dude, I said, I'm going to be hitting the ball quick today. And he goes, what do you mean? I was like, I'm going to look at my line. I'm going to double check my alignment. I said, I'm going to take a deep breath and just hit it. And so I did. I took a deep breath and hit it. And like, dude, I smoked the first drive, get down there to about like 355. I got like 180 in, and it's downwind, pins like in this little crevice there. I take a 9-iron, just hit it as hard as I could, just float it middle of the green. It starts to cut just because of the wind, comes down and like 4 feet for an eagle. I hit the inside edge. I thought I was going to break a little bit, and it just stopped on the backside, make my birdie. But after that, it was like I think I only missed 4 fairways the first day, and then the second, and then I hit every green in regulation.
Wow,
which is nice to shoot 72.
Dude, I had 11 on my round on Sunday. I had I think 11 green regulations, 2 birdies. I had 3 times that I got on the green where I was 80 to 90 feet away. Like, no joke.
The greens are that big at Madeira?
Dude, I count them off with my steps, like that's about like a yardish, each step, at least for me.
Yeah.
It's about like a yardish, 30 steps, 31 steps, 28 steps. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I was like, you don't even have putting greens this big. Like, how often do you practice your 90-foot putts? My lag putting was atrocious. 3 putted all of those. But yeah, I mean, that's awesome, dude. And I mean, we're talking off camera on this after the last episode. And Julio, tell us the breakdown of how much the tournament was and what was included. Because it's freaking insane. You should have just signed me up, and I wouldn't even had to play. Just sign me up. I'll give you the money and give me the things that you would have gotten.
So the tournament was like 190. The tournament was 190. With that, you got 4 dozen Titleist balls of your choosing. So I got Left Dash Pro V1Xs,
which is about $55 a pop. Oh no, maybe 60. Is it 60 now? Let's just say $60. It's about like $220. Yeah. Let's just say right there. Yeah. So you got your money back right there without even playing around.
You got 4 dozen. You got 4 dozen balls. Then you got like a title or Team Titleist caddy towel, which was nice. You got a ball marker. Yeah, you got like this sweet divot tool, and I don't know where the ball marker's at, but the ball marker is a Team Titleist with like the special engraving. And you got a free SM9 custom wedge,
which is probably about $200, about 200 or so.
Yeah, that was 170. I mean, the wedges now sell for like 180. So it was like,
plus the stamping and everything on top of that. Yeah,
yeah. And you could choose your grip. You could choose your like they even did the shafts. So like I got like a all blacked out, 58 degree with 4 dads stamped on it. I was pretty stoked. And then my partner,
that's not even it.
Yeah. So my partner didn't even want his wedge because he just had gotten new wedges. So he ended up letting me use his code, and I got a 54 degree with Don Julio on it. Same thing. Yeah. So I'm pretty stoked, but I mean, we got all kinds of stuff. And then those are just like the tee prizes. Like that's what you got before you even teed off.
No. But there's one more thing. You got one more thing, right? The shoes.
Oh yeah, sorry, and the shoes. So you got to choose a pair of FootJoy shoes, and I got the premiums, but
$200 shoes, $250,
yeah,
$200.
I ended up selling them.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, like,
before I even got up to tee.
Well, I mean, like, think about it. I was trying to add up in my head, and like, just roughly, you probably have, let's say, $120 worth of golf balls. That's just maybe a small estimate. Then you have
$200 for sure.
of golf balls.
Yeah, because they're
I'm sorry. Four.
They're
Sorry.
$56. Yeah.
Four. Yeah. Let's just say $200, maybe $220, and then you have a $200 wedge, maybe $230. So that's maybe like $450 right there. You have $200 pair of shoes, about $650. You have the if you sell them on eBay, dude, you can make so much money on the anything team Titleist wise. So if you sell like the marker, the pitching tool, and all that, maybe another $50, putting you up to about $700. Plus, not even playing a round, or if it was 2 rounds, then I'm guessing how much is a round there? If you were to pay out of pocket,
it was a total 190 for the whole thing.
No, but how much would you say?
$54.
So let's say $55. That's another 110. So that puts it about $810 plus. What am I missing here? No, I think that's about it.
Yeah, that's it.
But I mean, like $800. Like, dude. Next time you have one of these events, you let me know, and I will send you that money so fast. And I don't even have to play.
So they do, yeah.
Just give me the stuff, man. I'm trying to.
so the club does the Titleist one, and then they do a Mizuno one.
Yeah, well, let me know when the Titleist one comes back. I'm sure it's once a year, but it's freaking dope, dude.
Is. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, I didn't even know about it until my partner was like, "Dude," he's like, "Titleist Amateur coming up. You signed up?" And I was like, what is it? He goes, it's a stroke play tournament. Like straight, you just go out there and you play. And I was like, stroke play, okay. I was like, cool. Then he's like, yeah, but it's team, so you're playing against the field, but you get to play with your buddy and it's best score. And I was like, sick. So yeah, it was a good time. I mean, it was a perfect day because then the next day ended up dumping rain. So it was a bit tough, but we got through it.
Yeah.
We ended up taking second.
Could you win any money off of there? What could you win?
Just the skins. I mean, it was like $40 skins for.
So there weren't like any prizes for winning, just for entering. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
That's still pretty dope, dude. That's awesome.
They had like a little. I mean, if you took first place, you got a bag. You got one of the Titleist. You got one of those Titleist Premier, like the leather bags, the real nice
golf bags. Oh dang! Okay.
Yeah,
nice.
Like the super, the super premium bag is the one that they were giving.
That's dope.
And you had the choice to send the bag back with the Head Pro to get it embroidered if you wanted to.
Nice, dude. That's freaking dope.
So,
I mean,
so you talk about that. That's like an extra. That's like a $300-$400 bag.
Well, dude, what I'm saying, like legitimately, next time you have one, let me know. I will try to come out there just for one of the days. Get the round in, get all the free stuff that's on top of it, and then just be like, yeah, okay, I'm not feeling too well. My tummy hurts. I'm gonna go home. But that's awesome.
Yeah.
But on top of that, LIV, they just wrapped up their second season. The Crushers, Bryson DeChambeau's Crushers, won the team event, and I think the purse was $50 million for the tournament. And yeah, so I think it was insane. Just the purse. I think the purse at Zozo was like $8 million or something like that, but the purse for this tournament was $50 million, something insane. And Bryson had some great putts. I usually just end up watching some of the highlights, except for this one. It was at Miami, so I could have technically watched it, but I just wasn't thinking. Son got a little sick over the weekend, so I really didn't have too much time to watch what I wanted to watch. He was either sleeping or whatever. But it was really cool just to see like the team event, how serious they were taking it. There were a lot of fans. It was in Miami. It looked like it was great weather. Everyone was having a great time. And of course, Bryson's team won, and I'm always happy for him and hoping that he can hopefully one day buy one of the country clubs out here and deck it out, make it look dope. Because, I mean, we desperately need it. Desperately need that.
I know. I saw a friend of mine was out at Copper River. Looks like the course has just gone to crap, dude. It looks
really.
It doesn't look as green, doesn't look as pristine. Like it just looks dead.
Well, it might be.
If it was maybe just a hole they were on, but
it might be like I know at Dragonfly I played there where it looks brown. It looks terrible in the winter, but you hit and just regular grass. It just looks dead. Like it's not green.
Yeah.
And actually, yesterday and Monday they actually painted apparently they're like, hey, we're painting the front 9 on Monday, we're painting the back 9 on Tuesday, and I don't know if it's that.
Can we in the next 2 weeks find a time to play Dragonfly? I want to play before the year's over. We have to get this rounded.
I think that's possible. Yeah,
Great.
that is very possible. We get a weekend tea time.
Can we do Sunday?
Yeah, no, it would probably be noon. All right, or are you trying to get out? I mean, so the only reason why I say that is I just played noon tea time. The noon tea times are like $50, $55. The regular weekend tea time.
That's fine. That means I can just take my time getting there.
Okay, yeah. No, we can definitely do that. We'll set that up. But I do want to tell you something that I heard that was really interesting. It's golf related.
Or I leave Saturday night, get to your place by like 11 o'clock, and then we do a morning round at River Park, and then we go play or Riverside, and then we go over to Dragonfly.
Man, that'd be cool, but that would probably be more of a no. I only want one round a day, as much as I'd love to do 2 or 3, like you do all the time. I'm just like, dude, how? Dude, but check this out. So golf related, but totally random. My next door neighbor across the street was telling me that he went to the Center Valley Golf, the one off of 41, the little golf range right there. They have like Top Tracer now, right? They have some of the things where you can they have like turf and you can hit stuff out there, play like a regular course and things like that with their balls. And I was like, yeah, it'd be so cool if we had like a Top Tracer out here, or like a Top Golf out here, right? And he's like, yeah, one of my buddies actually was looking into doing that in the Fresno Madera area. And he's like one of those entrepreneur young guys that was trying to, do something. Cause like, if you have one out here, I mean, like, I think it'd do amazing, cause there is not a legit one. The only one. Well, exactly. You could do something, but anyway, a permit has already been filed for a Top Golf in the area within the next few years. And then
nice.
Yeah. And then on top of that, so that's one thing. Another thing, on Sunday, the guy that I played with, he actually was telling me that when they shut down airways, because apparently they're going to be shutting out airways within the next couple of years because of the plane or the runways or takeoffs for the Army or Navy or whatever it is, there has to be a certain amount of golf courses in a well-populated area for whatever reason, like whatever rule it is, there has to be a certain amount. And there is speculation that they're bringing back Fig Garden because they haven't done anything there. They just let it overrun because they weren't able to sell that property, for all of the housing developments that guy wanted to do. And he heard a little birdie talk about that potentially they might be bringing that back if Airways does end up getting closed, because they legally have to have a certain amount of golf courses in a certain amount of area with people. And I was like, what? That would be awesome.
If Airways closes, I guess that means that we're going to World War III.
Let's not get too political. Yeah, could be. Yeah. But yeah, so I thought that was really cool. But
dude,
yeah,
that would be so sick if Fig Garden would come back. Do you like? So the guy who bought it, I don't think he realizes like how much of a cash cow that course is. Like, I would just reopen it just because. I mean, forget Airways, but it's like, dude, you can't build houses there because that place floods.
There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. But second, it's like everyone who lives in the bluffs right there, not all of them want to go spend money at San Joaquin. Like, open that place back up.
And not just that, but Fresno City used to play there too. The golf team used to play at Fig Garden.
Fresno State. Fresno State used to practice there a lot. I mean, I remember seeing Nick Watney out there all the time working with Bob, and I mean, shit, dude, when that guy would hit the golf ball, if you were over on number 9, was it number 9? No, number 8. Like, golf balls would be flying over you on that tee box. That's how far he would hit them.
Dang.
Seriously.
That's insane.
You'd see balls landing in the middle of the fairway on 8, which was like the dead straight par 4, with like the tee box up in the corner in the vines there. And Nick Watney would be working with Bob in like the deep right hand corner, and he'd just be hitting these cuts, these draws. Like,
dude, I'm gonna be honest. The only thing I can remember that golf course is that first drive that I ever had off
Yeah.
and I'm just saying that because it's the only thing I remember is that hole. And then I think is the finishing hole a par 5 dogleg right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the only two holes that I remember. 18 and 1, and that's it. I remember seeing people on tee boxes, like some kids that looked like they played like at Buchanan or something like that. But I have no recollection of anything else. You have the record.
I have
you put there a lot.
I have that course. Yeah, I have that course memorized. I mean, some of my fondest memories were on 18, coming off of the par 3 on 17. Like, you would see people top their ball, or like I remember one time my ex's dad's brother, so her uncle, we were playing from like the blue tees, and he like skied his ball, and you know how the driveway goes straight up, right? So when you come in, you have to he skies it, but it starts going off to the left, and you just hear this. And we were like, oh my God. It was insane. And of course, the person couldn't do anything because literally when you drive in and when you leave, it says you're exiting at your own risk of a golf ball.
Right. And oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me.
It was hilarious. And he didn't even count that stroke. He just re-teed and then hit another one and was still like, well, that's a par, boys.
Count as an unplayable, huh? He's in the guy's car. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Dang, dude, that's crazy. I do have one other thing to mention. I thought it was kind of crazy. It was kind of one of these things that an award that I didn't know existed. Like when my wife and I moved into this community, all these new little communities that are being built, all throughout the country now, these new housing developments and stuff like that. They're like, oh, we won this so-and-so award of like best housing development. And I'm like, they have awards for this? Like what? And I'm not trying to say this to shade LIV, but they received multiple honors at the 2023 World Golf Awards. One of them was the world's best golf event of the year, which was LIV Golf Adelaide, which was in Australia, where I think they had that short par 3 that they had it circulated, like they tried to attempt the waste management, and also world's best golf innovation. So, I mean, I was like, oh, that exists? Awesome. I didn't know that's a thing. Yeah. And I mean, what do you think about that?
I believe it. I think that definitely deserves it. I mean, that was such a cool tournament. One, because there was multiple hole-in-ones. You don't see that. You don't see that at Scottsdale.
Nope.
I mean, you get a massive applause for just hitting the green.
Yeah.
But all those hole-in-ones, and then also it was just like, I think the winning score was like 20 something under. So not only was it really good golf, but it was like the excitement of everything, the celebrities that showed up there. I mean, people talk about how like because they didn't put a foundation down on the court or on the course, which then had the seats and stuff sink into the grass, like that caused damages. But it's like, we're not perfect people, and there's just some things that you just have to learn as you go along with it. But
right,
I guarantee you that course is more popular than ever now, knowing that that's on the list for them to play every year.
Well, not just that, but like you said, and with your ex's uncle, how he hit that car, like walk at your or drive at your own risk. They have those signs, and it's like, what do you expect is going to happen with something that weighs a couple tons? That you're putting on top of grass that's supposed to be soft, even though they're in Australia, and Australia is more known for hard ground because it doesn't really rain too much. But at the same time, like you said, not only is that course going to be known better, it also probably brought in millions of dollars for that weekend. They might have had to pay a certain amount to host it, but at the same time, you more than double, triple that amount just by hosting all these people, the parking, the alcohol, the food, the beverages, all this stuff. Kind of like, what is it at the Masters every year? They get like an average of like 60, 70 million just from the pro shop alone in sales.
Yeah.
And that's just
just from food.
Oh, that's from food? That's not the pro shop. Cause I know the pro shop is insane. And they make millions on millions just for maybe a week, not 4 days, because they have like the practice rounds and stuff. But it's just insane to think that without that Masters tournament, there might not be an Augusta National, in my opinion, because how expensive it is to probably upkeep that, because how dedicated they are to upkeep the Augusta is insane. I think even now at all of their tournaments, the par threes, they have like clods of grass waiting. As soon as the guy hits it, they go in there after they're walking up to the green and just tamp it down with a new clod, so they're good to go, and it starts the process. And it's insane. Like, you don't have that anywhere else in the world. Anywhere. It's insane.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not shocked, man. Like, you know, LIV is doing something that is different. You know, I mean, again, it's kind of like what we saw when we went to the AT&T. You know, when we walked by the range, is you hear music now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You never used to hear that. You would have guys have their headphones in, doing their own thing. You know, I'm interested to see what this year holds for the PGA. Are we going to see a little bit more increases in purses just because they made so much this year?
Yeah.
You know, how does all of that play? You know, be interesting to see.
No, I agree. I mean, I was honestly just thinking of a, what do you call it? Of a correlate, not a correlation, but something to relate it to, like the whole PGA and like what they're taking from LIV. You know, LIV is innovating and trying to do all these new things, allowing shorts, you know, playing with music, a lot of like team events and things like that. Tell me if this is a stretch here, but anytime, like, you see the iPhone, or the Apple iPhone, and then you see the Android, right? That's like the whole, do you have Apple, do you have Android? That's like always been the rival, right? You always see Samsung and the Android innovating with something new. Almost every phone, something that they're trying to put themselves ahead of Apple. And within the next phone that's made, Apple implements that into their phone. So they basically are just waiting out Samsung to outdo themselves and say, thanks, perfect. I'm going to take that, put it in our phone now. We didn't have to do anything. We had to wait for you to, you know, try to be that. So you might have had the lead for like 3 to 4 months, but when people are accustomed and used to something they don't want to change, you go to an Android and switch back and forth. And I'm thinking that might work with the innovations. I'm not saying that players are going to jump and things like that, because they legitimately can't, but that's kind of how it is with LIV. They're probably starting things that the PGA Tour is going to start adding, like you said, music and things like that. I don't think shorts is coming anytime soon, but maybe more team events, things like that I think would actually be really optional. Cool.
I think shorts should be optional based off of conditions, because like if you're playing, you know, in Tampa, you know, no one wants to see swamp ass like that. Like
95 degrees, like or higher.
Let's just
like
be,
not just the caddies,
realistic. Let's just be realistic. Right? It's like, you know, all these guys who are on the board for the PGA, they're not out there rocking pants every day. I can promise you that. They got their pearly white legs out there getting some sun,
blinding everybody. Put them away.
Well, no, but I think you're spot on with what you said. You know, again, it's like there's certain features that definitely make me want to switch to a Samsung, where I'm like, if I can grab my camera and be like, oh, what is that? And then it gives me like a Google search of whatever it is that I'm just looking at, tells me what it is. Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Apple requires you to download an app for everything, because that's where they make all their money, is through the App Store. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well,
all right,
so I got nothing else to talk about. Yeah,
okay.
Go for it.
Oh, you got nothing else?
No. That's why I said I got nothing else. I have nothing else on the top of my head. What were you going to bring to the table?
Oh, you froze. Oh, there you are. Okay, you froze for a minute. You cut out.
Yeah, completely. Sorry.
No, I was going to say. So, I'm sure you heard this. It came from Jake Paul's podcast. I guess he had Brooks Koepka on there, and they were he asked, you know, what's the beef like between you and Bryson? And he was like, nah, dude, we're cool. Like, it was just show. You know, like we were just putting something on.
He literally handed him a beer. Did you see that at the LIV event? Yeah. He handed him a beer down below and tried to drink it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. He handed him a beer. He tried to drink it, and then he was over there hackling him because he missed the green. But I was gonna say, Jake Paul said he put up $1 million to see them fight. Do you think it would actually happen?
I don't, and the reason why is because of LIV. If they didn't already have so much money for signing with LIV, and they're still in the PGA, I think there is a much better chance of them doing it. But now with a risk of one, you're still having to play golf, which is your sport, while training to box or MMA or whatever kind of style fight that they're going to be doing. I think that it's not going to be possible, at least in my opinion. What do you think?
I feel like if they get enough sponsors, they'll make it happen, and they'll do like a fixed fight. You know, Bryson will lay, Bryson will lay down one big hit. Brooks will lay down a big hit. You know, someone will fall. But what if LIV instead of that, if you have beef with somebody on tour, right? What if LIV did like a 9-hole showdown?
Go on.
That was aside from the tournament. So it was like, if, you know, let's just say, we'll just use Brooks, Koepka, and Bryson again. They start barking at each other on the course. Yeah. They start getting into Twitter / you know, X arguments and stuff like that, right? They're bringing attention to themselves to where then LIV and the Saudis come over and say, hey, we will put up $30 million. You guys play a 9-hole showdown. And they will like design a course, right? So it's like, imagine if they're playing somewhere and like you're on the first tee box, but you got to go towards the 8th hole, right? You're playing like in a zigzag of the course that they create, which is the holes. How crazy would that be?
That'd be pretty dope.
$30 million. You play a showdown. And like you can talk in someone's backswing, you can play music, you could do whatever you needed to do to like mess that person up in some way, some form. You could have like a crew, or in the audience can be as loud as possible, you know, to get in the person's head. Like anything goes.
Imagine if they had like a Vuvuzela.
Yeah. Or you don't have to move your ball. So like if, you know, the person hits it right.
Stymies, huh? Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There we go. That'd be dope. I'd watch that. I would 100% watch that.
Doesn't have to clean up their foot marks in the bunker.
Or just like the guy like, hey, please don't step in my line.
Yeah. How sick would that be?
That'd be dope, dude. I would definitely. I'm sure everyone would tune into that. That would be so interesting to see how that is.
But then on top of that, it's like, obviously they would want to do, I would assume, because that's just who Bryson and Brooks are, right? They always want to give something more to somebody. So it's like they end up finding a proceed, and like in the match, even though they're playing for 30 million, they're putting up forth like 100,000 per hole.
Right.
Themselves.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
like, I mean, yeah. And that's like pennies on the dollar to them, you know, like a burger to you and me. That's just like nothing to them. But yeah, no, I think that'd be
how much a burger is. You know, dude, can you believe that In-N-Out Burger is now like $10?
I was looking. We've been going the last like month, like twice or 3 times, and I was just talking to my wife about that. Like, I remember like in high school, it was like $3.75 for like number one with a drink, a burger, and fries. Now it's like $8 or $9. Like, what is inflation? What it never hits here. It'll never hit here, and it hit here hard.
Yeah, bro. I saw this video, totally off subject now, but I saw this video where this guy was talking about like how much inflation has like impacted Costco.
I saw that. He
showed the same things that he bought for like $3.99 that are now like
6 months ago. Like, it was insane. Yeah.
He's like they really want to sit here and say 6 to 9%, more like 75%.
Yeah.
He's like, this is crazy.
Yeah. No, I did see that one. Yeah. That was insane. That would definitely not make me happy, but I mean, it is what it is. Unfortunately, us peasants can't do anything about it. We just gotta cry and pay our taxes.
I know, dude. I just God, that you're opening up a conversation that could take this another hour, but
well, then it's a good time to wrap it up then.
Yeah, that's just insane to me, though. I mean, it really is just mind blowing. I just can't believe it.
No, I agree, dude.
But yeah, man. Well, just to give a shout out to our sponsors, we're gonna mention Upside Golf. Don't forget to go support Patty O'Shea with his rangefinders, his Bluetooth speakers, training aids, magnetic towels. He also has some swag too that's pretty dope. Also, we are still promoting the Mevo, using Fore Dad's pod. You can get the 10% off of the smaller one, and then the Mevo Plus is Fore Dad's 10. Is that the promo code?
I think it's right now. It's 15 for the Mevo, 15% off for the Mevo, and 5 or 10% for the bigger one, the more expensive
Mevo
one.
Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
but they're dope.
Yeah, don't forget to utilize those, and also be sure to slide in our DMs and get yourself some Fore Dad swagger. Also, for those of you that are purchasing, like, let us know what you want to see. We're always looking into new stuff. I almost got some ball markers, but the price was just a bit too much, in my opinion, for what it was. But yeah, let us know. Also, if anybody knows how to set up a Shopify website, let us know. Hit us up.
Please.
Yeah, please. This is getting ridiculous, selling it out of the backs of our cars. Yeah, other than that, have yourselves a good night, and don't forget to stay fly and go low.